Bells Up Studio, and welcome to today's 20-minute set. It's a little bit of an atypical class today because it is all about abs and core. We're just doing abdominal focused work, a little targeted abs, and then some core work that includes some rotation. So you're not gonna be really like moving around too much in this class, but you will be rolling around and kind of close to the floor. So make sure that you have a light to moderate kettlebell for class today. We're gonna be doing something called a half kneeling chop for part of it, where you're going to have your bell here and you're going to be rotating your upper body slightly without moving your hips to work your obliques. So this is deceptively challenging, and you can do this with a dumbbell too, holding at the sides. So just make sure you have something that's light enough to hold on to that and execute it. If it's too heavy, you're gonna know right away. So just mind your business there. Everything else, I think you've probably done before in class, and we're just gonna have a little fun. All we're gonna do is go through this 2 rounds. It's a 30-second on, 30-second off set. In the beginning, you might not feel like you need these 30 seconds to rest, but by the second time through, you'll probably want them to give your core and abs a little bit of a relaxation and a stretch. So your first move, I know that if you're at this point in Bells Up Studio, you know how to do this one. We're gonna do baby get-ups. I invite you to use a weight or do this one unweighted today. So weight or unweighted, either way will work for you. We're gonna do this for the first and second intervals, and then we're gonna use that bell for seated halos. As we go through the rest of the sets, I'm going to show you and explain to you what we're getting up to in your rest breaks. So just pay attention in those 30-second rest breaks for your demo. So let's go ahead and start your first side of baby get-ups. You can pick which one you want. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. So bell comes up, feet come up. I can push my heels together if I need a little more leverage, and I'm gonna roll and almost think of doing a crunch. So I'm almost thinking of pulling my knees in towards my bod, pushing down, and then resisting rolling down. You might not get too many reps here, and if you're feeling like you're a little more advanced in your kettlebell training, in your weight training practice, in your athleticism, definitely use a weight today for this one. You're gonna feel it. Clock is on here, 3, 2, and 1. So we get to sort of relax for a second, shake out your neck, maybe do some circles here. If you're laying on the floor, you can just turn your head side to side. We're gonna get ready to go into your second set of babies. And again, you advanced people, I want you to think of a slow roll down to the floor. Really use your obliques. If you're a beginner at this, I want you to work on actually rolling over and not rolling kind of like with your arm over. You wanna have your knuckles pointed to the ceiling. Let's go ahead, get your other side in 3, 2, and 1. So we're gonna roll onto our backs, push the bell up, feet can come together or they can be here, and then we're gonna roll onto our side, push the ground down, roll back down to the floor. I'm gonna take a nice breath out here, exhale, and then roll myself back down to the ground. These ones, honestly, will F you up if you do a lot of them underweight. They are not easy, even with body weight here, to support yourself. And I always say this, you get a little extra like foam roll on this outer part of your hip and your booty. So if you feel that, you're normal. You've got 3, 2, and 1. So here's what's up with seated halos. If your hips scream at you when you're in this position, if the hip flexors are like, screw you, I'm not doing this, bent knees is an option for you. You can also stand. Those are your 2 options here. So if you're already hunching over like this to do a halo, it's not worth it to try to do that and sit. You're gonna be better in a standing position. Go with a weight that you can spin around your head, keep at your chin height the whole way around. We're gonna go 3, 2, and 1. So point your toes back, grab your bell and flip it upside down. You're gonna start spinning it around your head at the nape of your neck and then to your chin. You'll go the other way. Sometimes people ask me how to not let their elbow, like if their elbows hurt in this, what to do. You can either try pulling your elbows out or you can try pulling them in. It depends on the person. Sometimes it feels better to do either of those things. I think if you concentrate more on moving your shoulders than your elbows, it could help here with the position of your halo. You've got 3, 2, and 1. Those can also be done with a dumbbell if you don't have kettlebell access with your hands on the outside. Next up are quadruped passes. We did these in the previous class in this particular program. And if you do not feel good passing through, I just want you to reach with one hand and then reach with the other and pretend like you're passing. Try to keep your hips even. You're gonna grab your bell with the opposite hand of where the bell is and pull it under you and then keep doing that. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. So quadruped basically is a fancy word for tabletop. You have 4 points connected to the floor. Those would be your hands and your toes. So when I'm here, I'm trying to reach and pull the bell. In that quadruped position, the bell is facing the center part of my body. So it's like there's a line going right through the center, and I'm just gonna drag that bell. The further away the bell is for you, the more you're gonna get rotation and have to reach and feel your oblique. So that's how you can make this one a little more challenging. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. Very good. We're gonna lay on our back now for hollow body, straight or bent knee or heel tap, sorry. So kettlebell can be here, or you can do this body weight. Level 1 is here. Heels tapping, knees staying right over the hips when they come back, or straight legs if your back does not come off from the floor or seize up when you're in your nice neutral position. Let's go ahead, pick the one that works for you in 3, 2, and 1. So I'm gonna roll over, push my bell up or just bring my hands up, start with those bent legs and find my hollow position. Then I'll take my heels down. I'm thinking of moving my legs from my core, looking at my belly button. If they're straight, my toes are pointed back towards me, and I'm thinking of letting them just hover just above the ground, maybe 5 or 6 inches before they come back up. A higher level of this would be not to rest with your feet over your hips. You're gonna stop where you still have tension and then go back down. 3, 2, and 1. That one will definitely burn if you do it that way, if you don't let yourself have a little break in the tension. The next one is called a quadruped walkout. So what it's gonna look like, I'm gonna start in plank. I'm gonna walk back to a quadruped, hold for a second. I'm gonna walk forward to a plank, hold for a second. I'm gonna walk back to a quadruped, hold, walk to plank. Notice I'm not doing a downward dog and losing tension in my core. This is gonna be a little bit on your shoulders, just warning you. Let's go ahead, go for it. 3, 2, and 1. So I'm gonna start out in my full plank position, feet out, and then I'm gonna walk my hands back as I bend my knees, land in quadruped. I'm gonna walk my hands forward, find my plank, squeeze my butt, walk my hands back, bend my knees. Those things have to happen consecutively. Push down, walk back, walk forward. You should be feeling your arms a bit, your shoulders a bit, maybe your abs. Hold, and then walk out, hold. 3, 2, and rest. 30-second break here. We're gonna go for seated eccentric presses next. These can be taken standing or they can be taken in a half kneel. Something that is a misconception sometimes about pressing is that we forget it's what's called a compound movement, where we have multiple muscle groups working a lot. A big group of muscles that's working are the muscles of your core, so all the muscles that wrap around here. So this is actually kind of a sneaky abdominal workout whenever you see a press overhead on your program. Let's go ahead and start with your first side in 3, 2, and 1. So we're gonna press your bell up, and I want you to pull it down for 3, 2, 1, bring it into the rack. Press it up, pull it down, 3, 2, 1, very good. Let's go 1 to 2 more. Press it up, pull it down, 3, squeeze those abs, 2, 1, last one, press it up, pull it down, 3, 2, 1. We have a lot of fun eccentrics in the past couple classes in this program, right? We just did these with one bell here. And honestly, that's where you can go if this one feels a little bit heavy for you. You can practice that one bell in the seated position to work your core just a little bit here. We're gonna do your second side, and then we're gonna get to those half kneeling chops that I talked about in the beginning. And then we're gonna flip it and do this whole thing one more time. You get 2 times through every single movement for your set today. Here we go, clock is on second side in 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring that bell up. Squeeze, 3, 2, 1. Really squeeze the handle. We'll push it straight up, look straight ahead. 3, 2, 1. Pull your toes back, push your butt into the floor. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna breathe out. Pull down, 3, 2, 1. If you hear little things popping and crinkling in your neck and your back, you're all good here. You have just enough time to get one more. I know I just stopped, but you guys can get one more if you so choose. We'll be here 3, 2, and 1. I told you, you don't really need to move from the floor very much. You can just kind of take a seat, maybe turn your head in a circle here. Just take your chin to one side. When we do the half kneeling position, remember that you can pad your knee here. You can also, what was I gonna say? Go down in your weight a little bit if you need to for this. Okay, so we're gonna be in this position. The bell's gonna start at your hip and you're gonna put it on a shelf over your knee. We're not gonna rotate behind us. You should never be looking behind you in this one. Let's go ahead, pick your bell up. 3, 2, and 1. So we're here, we put it on the shelf, we pull it back in, We put it on the shelf, we pull it back in. We put it on the shelf, we pull it back in, and we might cry a little bit if our bell is heavy here. That's about the point where you start to notice it. So I really want you to start feeling your abs when you get here. You're really gonna feel some tightness, hopefully in this region. You've got 3, 2, and rest. Go down and wait for the next one and this one if that was a disaster. If that was a complete mess, you're gonna go down. This one also can be done with a medicine ball. If you're in a gym or even your house, maybe you have a medicine ball at your house. I definitely do because I'm a trainer, so that makes sense. But if you're in a gym and you have access to that, you can do that rotation here just as easily. Dumbbells, have to say, a little easier to hold on to for this one, holding them to the sides than holding the kettlebell. Okay, let's go ahead, get your other side. 3, 2, and 1. I like to hold the handle and kind of like tip it. Goal is to not move your hips. So we're not cranking and turning. We're thinking of lifting up there. Does anyone else follow that dude on TikTok that just, he chops wood and he's really good looking? I always think of him when I do these. I'm like, is this like chopping wood? I don't know. I mean, he seems like he's a good trainer too. He has we're gonna rest in 3, 2, 1, a master's degree in exercise science. And he looks like that, and he's probably making bank chopping wood on TikTok. I mean, what a great way to take advantage of your natural gifts for marketing. Baby get-ups, we're gonna go through this whole thing again. So you guys should feel pretty solid in all those movements. The baby get-up's coming in hot, so if you need to make weight changes, just be thinking about it and grab that weight in your break. Let's go ahead, go for it. 3, 2, and 1. If you're hitting body weight and they feel easy, I want you to try to take your reps up a little bit, take your speed up a little bit, but not just dump into your shoulder. This is a sad shoulder. If your shoulder's like meh and just kind of hanging out, you gotta push down. Then you're gonna activate your abs. So this is another lesson in these ab classes. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna rewind and tell you more of the beginning part of this story. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. The reason I hate effing ab classes is because most of the time they are so overkill and you end up not even working your core, your abdominals, all of that, because you're compensating in other areas like the shoulders, the hips, all that stuff. So normally I call bullshit on just doing targeted abs, because if you want to do that, you could do those in a machine in the gym, you could do them on a pull-up bar, you could do a class like what I've planned for you here that doesn't so heavily involve like this motion all the time. Let's go ahead and get your other side in 3, 2, and 1. So we're trying to hit lots of different movement patterns here that make your core work, but aren't exactly just loading the front of your, like stomach area. So you're getting some rotation here, you're getting some hip strength here, you're actually moving. But if you can't nail that side plank, your shoulder is gonna be like, this sucks. So try to think of that as your main dish here. Nail that side plank. 3, 2, and 1, seated halos. I don't know why I have such a vendetta against I've become, I think I've always been a snarky trainer. I was gonna say I've become a snarky trainer in my advanced age as an elder millennial, but I think I've always kind of had an annoyance for bullshit in the fitness industry, partially because being a trainer is my second career. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. So I feel like for halos, I feel like I know what it's like to be somebody on the other side, and it just makes my heart hurt when people spend money and time and waste their resources doing things that are probably not gonna get them a better outcome in any way. Even if it's just like they wanna have fun and socialize, it just irks me that people are out there doing weird shit thinking it's helping them. 3, 2, and 1 in physical type of ways. So I try to do my best bringing you guys, I guess you could call them sexy basics. We try to make the basics not feel super repetitive in these classes, just because, sometimes this stuff really is, you just do the same things a lot and just keep lifting heavier. But if we can make the basics a little sexy, it can be a little more fun to do. Okay, let's go ahead, come on down. We're gonna do quadruped passes. 3, 2, and 1. I mean, we're not SoulCycle over here. We're not like Although sometimes I can get a little preachy, as you guys know, but we are not just only bumping to the music, only about the atmosphere, only about all that stuff. We're about getting you guys closer to your goals too, and really making some gains in your strength through doing this work. You're here for another 5 seconds. Give me one more good pass. We'll go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Those hollow leg tap things are coming up. So again, if you want to do a little bit more advanced level, your legs are not going to stop. Your legs are going to stay straight up over your hips, or sorry, right before you get straight up over your hips, you're gonna stop there, and then you're gonna come down. So just make sure that when you're doing that, you stay really tight in that position and you keep your breath going. Okay, let's go for it. Clock is on here. 3, 2, and 1. Let's roll over, push your bell up, bring your feet up, roll your shoulders up. You could be here. This is perfectly fine if you feel your core more in this position. Think of reaching out more with your legs versus just kind of moving at your heels and tapping. We're straight up here, and this is the spot where I'm not losing tension. You'll notice when it gets easy, that's the spot I was talking about when you lose tension. You have 10 seconds in this one. It's the last time you're doing it. Final 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and rest for just a second. We're gonna take those quadruped walkouts in your next set. Remember, this one might be a little more shoulder. You might feel it a little bit more there. That's okay for this set if your abs aren't totally burning. Your arms are gonna be working too. And anytime you're in a plank position, you're really getting a lot of work here. So if you ever fatigue there first, that's kind of normal sometimes. That's why planks for like 4 minutes are stupid, because you're not really getting a lot out of here. Let's go ahead, hit your quadruped walkouts in 3, 2, and 1. So we're gonna start in our plank position and then walk the hands back, bend the knees. See how much you can actually land in that quadruped. So with your knees under your hips, your hands under your shoulders. It's actually quite hard to land in that position each time. I don't actually think I'm doing a great job of it, if I'm being quite honest. We shall see in the video. But you wanna try to catch yourself there in that position where your butt's not too far back, your knees aren't too forward of your hips. It's kind of a beautiful table. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and rest for a second. We have seated eccentric presses, and then we'll get into our last 2 things, which are our half kneeling chops. Everyone's favorite. I left those at the end, you know, just for fun. Okay, final 15 seconds. Pull your toes back. Don't mind my like gym floor feet here. I know this is like a, I don't know. Remember that meme that was going around like, my feet aren't free? Kind of impossible when you kettlebell train. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Bring your bell up. We'll push, pull down. 3, 2, 1, right back to the rack. Squeeze your other hand, press. We'll go down. 3, 2, 1. If your press is getting heavy, I'd rather you assist it and then get this juicy eccentric here. So you can bring your other hand onto the bell, push it straight up, and then pull it down. 3, 2, 1. You have time for one more press here. If you got it, a strong one, you'll go 3, 2, 1, and rest. If your legs are out straight, you can kind of turn them in and give yourself a little break. We've almost done 20 minutes here. We're at about 18 minutes and 30 seconds at this point, and it's only down from here. Let's go ahead, hit your other side. You have just about 15 seconds. Maybe roll your wrists out a little bit in this one. Maybe do a little side to side, get a little twist in there. This could be a sneaky ab day when you sneeze the next time. Maybe 2 days from now, you'll think of me. Let's go ahead, get your other side. 3, 2, and 1. We'll pull it down. 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead, come up. 3, 2, 1. Push your hips into the floor. Push your booty into the floor. 3, 2, 1. We'll come up. 3, 2, 1. You have time for 1 to 2 more presses here. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest right there. Okay, last little bit. Just 1 minute of work left. Maybe we were at like minute 17. I always forget on my timer, it's a little bit further. So if you see the little clock ticking at the bottom and your brain is firing like what happened, don't worry about it. Okay, we're gonna go for your final set of your chops. Again, use your med ball, use your dumbbell, use your kettlebell. Make sure it's light enough that you can get this movement and you're not having to take extra rest breaks. Let's go ahead and go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So hip 2 over your knee. So we're getting that lateral movement, pushing your foot down. Your hips should be moving minimally. It is your upper body and your core that's doing the work here. Push your foot down. Final little bit. Give me 2 to 3 more reps here. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Final 30-second rest break. We have one more 30-second interval before we are done with this class. So keep your head in the game here. Let's finish this abdominal focus set really strong. You've almost done that full 20 minutes of work today. You should be happy about that. And hopefully this was a nice little change from some of our other sets that we've done with cardio and our upper lower splits. Okay, let's go ahead, get ready. We're gonna bring that bell up. Remember, pad your knee if you need to. Clock is on here in 3, 2, and 1. Hip over the knee, get that rotation. This one, honestly, I feel like such a badass when I do it. You guys are almost finished with your class. Give me 5 good seconds here. We'll go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bells up. You guys did it. I hope you're feeling good after our set today. That is it for our class. I will see you in our next 20-minute session or a different program here on Bells Up Studio. Remember, get real, get strong, bells up. Bye.